So that moment when all the hard work finally pays off, right? Years of saving, maybe cutting back a bit, and then bam, you're there. That first real home, the one that felt, I don't know, like a dream for so long. It's such a powerful feeling, isn't it? Accomplishment. Creating your own space, your sanctuary.
Yeah, it's definitely more than just, buying property. It's kind of the embodiment of your goals, your progress. You really start picturing your future inside those walls, a space that's, well, uniquely yours.
Exactly. And that's right where Lillian was. She'd found this incredible place, the kitchen she wanted, rooms full of light, just everything she'd aimed for. It was a huge personal achievement for her, something she felt she'd really earned. Even though, obviously, she was excited to share it, build a life there with her husband, Ryan. They seemed totally aligned on it all.
Uh-huh. Or so it seemed. The personal account we're looking at today, it's titled, I bought a luxury house, but my husband moved his parents in. When I confronted him, things escalated. That title alone just immediately flags a really jarring shift in that dream picture.
Yeah, it really does.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it? How quickly unexpected family stuff can kind of derail even those big personal milestones. So our mission in this deep dive is really to unpack how this conflict just seemed to blow up almost instantly, and to explore the underlying issues that come up, things like communication, boundaries, especially when you're setting up a new home together. Lillian's story really shines a light on that.
Okay, right, let's get into the thick of it then. Moving day. It arrives. You know the scene, chaos, boxes, unpacking.
Yeah.
Lillian and Ryan, they have like a minor spat about where some furniture goes. Nothing huge. She's mostly just buzzing, excited about this new chapter.
And then things take a turn. Ryan gets a phone call. Lillian picks up on it right away. His whole mood shifts. He's sort of hesitant. And then he tells her his parents are coming to stay
Who?
with them.
Wow, just like that.
Just like that. He frames it as temporary, just a few weeks, maybe a couple of months. Apparently, there was some issue with their own place. This immediate clash, it really shows something important, I think. Often, you're so caught up in the excitement of the big move, the new house, that you might not see potential conflicts and expectations coming. It really hammers home that need for, proactive communication about shared space, future plans, even when things seem great.
Yeah, absolutely. And Lillian's reaction, I mean, it's completely understandable. This wasn't just any house. It was her achievement, her sanctuary, the place she'd worked so hard for. The idea of suddenly having house guests, especially in-laws, moving in immediately, it's unsettling. So she brings up her concerns, right?
Yeah.
The house is a mess. They haven't even set up a proper guest room yet.
And Ryan's response is basically, oh, it's just temporary. You can handle it. I know you'll be fine. Yeah. It just essentially dismisses how she feels. And this shows a common pattern, doesn't it? When one person's view gets shut down right away, it can kind of set the stage for their needs always being seen as, well, less important. What's really interesting here is the imbalance it creates. One person making a huge decision about their shared home without, real teamwork.
It's like her own sense of achievement, her pride in the house, just gets instantly steamrolled by his assumption that, well, her comfort comes second to his parents' immediate situation.
Yeah.
And even though Lillian tries to kind of roll with it, you can feel that unease starting to build. Then his parents arrive. And you can almost feel her anxiety spike just hearing their voices in the house.
Their arrival, as she describes it, sounds like they just immediately settle in. Very comfortable.
Which is such a sharp contrast to how Lillian's feeling, right? Displaced. The mother-in-law, Carol, apparently barely acknowledges Lillian at first. She's more focused on checking out the house itself.
And the father-in-law, Dave, he also just quickly makes himself at home. This immediate sort of taking over the space starts chipping away at Lillian's sense of ownership, her control over her own environment.
And it's often those little things, isn't it? The small stuff that really gets under your skin. Carol's behavior in the kitchen, that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
It sounds like it went beyond just, helping out. It was more like assuming control.
Exactly, giving unsolicited advice on how to organize things, preparing meals without even asking Lillian what she planned, gently correcting her cooking.
Oh, the gentle correction.
Right. All these little actions, they subtly send a message, don't they? A lack of respect for Lillian's autonomy in her own kitchen. Carol's actions, even if they seem minor individually, they show that dynamic, that subtle wearing away of personal space. The real takeaway here is just how crucial clearly defined roles and expectations are in any shared home, no matter how good the intentions might seem.
Totally. Like that comment Carol apparently made.
Oh, yeah. Something like, Lillian, sweetie, maybe use a bit less salt. I know you're new to cooking, but trust me.
Ugh. It's not really about the salt, is it?
Not at all. It's the underlying message about her competence. In her own damn kitchen. That kind of subtle put down, it can make you feel like you're just visiting.
Yeah, like a guest who's doing it wrong.
Yeah.
So, okay, where is Ryan while all this kitchen stuff is going down?
Well, that's the next part. He starts to withdraw, pull back from the situation. Suddenly, work gets really demanding. He has tons of errands he just has to run.
Convenient.
Right. Leaving Lillian to navigate these awkward, uncomfortable interactions with his parents by herself.
That's tough.
And this avoidance from Ryan, it's a really big red flag for the relationship, I think. A rift starting to form. Instead of facing her discomfort head on, talking about it, he just retreats, which effectively leaves her holding the bag.
Yeah, that would build resentment fast.
Absolutely. It signals that maybe avoiding conflict with his parents is more important than supporting his wife. In their home, the whole dynamic starts shifting. It's not them against the problem anymore. It's Lillian feeling more and more alone.
You can see how that happens. This avoidance, it really highlights a struggle lots of people have, right? Balancing loyalty to your partner versus your parents.
Exactly. It might not even be a conscious decision to invalidate her, but more like feeling pulled, and choosing the path of least resistance, maybe.
Right. And the tension just keeps building until, inevitably, Lillian tries to talk to Ryan directly. She picks a moment, they're alone, and she lays it out, how she's feeling. That this living arrangement isn't working for her, that the house is starting to feel not like theirs, more like his parents.
And Ryan's reaction is immediate defensiveness. That's such a crucial moment.
Yeah.
He asks her, why are you making such a big deal out of this? Which just instantly shuts down her feelings.
Classic dyslexia.
Totally. He keeps stressing the temporary part, his duty to his family, but he avoids the core issue she's raising.
Which is her feeling displaced, the impact on them.
Right. It shows this fundamental clash in what they're focusing on. She's thinking about their new life, their marriage, this home they're supposed to be building. He's locked onto his parents' immediate needs.
And the communication just craters. He accuses her of complaining about his dreams, which seems to mean his desire to help his parents.
Yeah, it seems like he frames it that way.
And Lillian just feels completely dismissed, like her emotions don't matter at all.
And then he just ends it, walks away, leaves her standing there with this huge widening gap between them.
Wow. That dismissive exit. That says a lot, doesn't it? Someone just unwilling or maybe unable to have the hard conversation.
It absolutely does. It leaves Lillian feeling totally unheard, even more isolated in her own house.
So the cycle just continues after that.
Pretty much. The tension hangs in the air. Ryan stays emotionally distant. Meanwhile, Carol and Dave just carry on with their routine, comfortably settled, maybe not even realizing they're making it worse.
Like Carol taking over the grocery shopping.
Exactly. Another little thing that just chips away at Lillian's sense of control. Her role in her own household. It's like she's slowly becoming invisible.
The house was supposed to be her safe space, her achievement.
And instead, it becomes this place where her feelings, her needs are just overlooked, ignored.
Which leads her, understandably, to a breaking point.
Yeah. She hits that wall, realizes, I just can't do this anymore. And she knows she needs another conversation with Ryan, a really decisive one this time.
This moment of clarity for her, it feels really significant.
It is. She confronts him again, but this time she's direct. She basically says, your actions tell me you're choosing them over us, over our relationship.
That's blunt. Painful, but necessary.
It's articulating the reality she's living, and Ryan's response.
Let me guess. More defensiveness.
You got it. He deflects again. Suggests maybe she's the one being unreasonable.
Oh, turning it back on her.
Yep. He even questions if she's the person he thought she was, which is just such a personal attack.
It avoids any accountability for his part, right? And just pours fuel on the fire.
Exactly. It's a really destructive way to communicate. Instead of hearing her pain, acknowledging her concerns might be valid, he attacks her character. It shifts the focus entirely away from his actions and how they affected her. It shows a profound unwillingness to take responsibility or to prioritize their marriage.
And that's when Lillian says it, that line, I'm done fighting for something that's not even there anymore.
Such a powerful statement, and Ryan's reaction to that is just silence? Lack of resistance?
Yeah, the account says he didn't fight back then, which is telling in itself.
It really is. It's like a silent admission, isn't it? An
Yeah.
acceptance, maybe even a recognition that, yeah, it's over.
And the aftermath sort of confirms that.
It does. Ryan moves out.
Yeah.
Very little interaction, just
Yeah.
finality.
And the parents.
They leave quickly, too, which kind of highlights maybe their own lack of awareness or perhaps accountability for the role they played in the whole thing.
So Lillian's left in this house, the dream house.
Which is now transformed, right, from the symbol of hope and success into, well, an empty space.
She's grieving the relationship, obviously. But it sounds like more than that.
Oh, definitely. She's grieving the loss of Ryan, yes, but also maybe the loss of the person she tried to be in that situation. The compromises she made for something that just wasn't sustainable. And her journey afterwards is about rebuilding on her own, putting energy back into her work, her passions, reclaiming that space as hers again.
And it sounds like a slow process. Healing, rediscovering her own strength, her self-worth.
It usually is, isn't it? But eventually she gets to this really important understanding that what she needs, what she deserves, is a partnership based on mutual respect, where boundaries are valued, and realizing that being alone isn't failure. It can actually be a position of strength.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
It really is.
Yeah.
Her experience, as awful as it was, leads her to this greater clarity about her own needs, the absolute importance of self-respect in any relationship.
So, wow. We started with this high point, right? Buying the luxury home. A moment of real triumph. And then watched it just unravel so quickly into this really messy, complex family situation with huge personal costs for Lillian.
Yeah.
It just throws into sharp relief how vital, clear, honest communication really is.
Yeah.
And setting those healthy boundaries, especially when you're mixing family dynamics and shared spaces. It shows that even when you think you've achieved the dream, unexpected things can really challenge it.
Absolutely. And this deep dive, it really brings up a crucial question for you, listening. How do you navigate that tricky balance between your obligations to family and the needs and expectations within your primary relationship? What are those really essential conversations, the ones that might be uncomfortable, that need to happen before big life changes, like moving in together, just to make sure everyone's on the same page about expectations, about boundaries, making sure they're understood and hopefully respected?
It's definitely food for thought. A lot to consider there. And look, Lillian's experience was clearly incredibly painful. But it does offer some really valuable lessons, doesn't it?
It does.
About self-respect, about resilience, and importantly, about recognizing when a relationship, no matter how much you wanted it to work, just isn't serving your well-being anymore. So maybe take a moment to reflect on your own boundaries, your own communication styles within the relationships in your life.